The stars began to vanish, not slowly, not one by one. Entire worlds were gone overnight, erased from maps, erased from memory. It started with the planet Veltron 9, a strong world full of warriors. Their technology was second only to the galactic core. Then one morning, nothing, no signal, no light. Just silence. At first, the galaxy thought it was a mistake. Scanners were reset, ships were sent to investigate. But when the scouts arrived, Veltron 9 was missing. Not destroyed, missing. Only a black hole remained in its place, pulsing with strange blue energy. 2 days later, the Raxi Prime disappeared. Then Gothul. Then 3 more systems in one night. Panic swept the stars. The Council of Species called an emergency meeting. 12 leaders arrived from across the galaxy. The air was filled with fear and confusion. "This is not a weapon," said High Chancellor Zhu of the Zelenian Empire. His hands shook as he spoke. "Weapons destroy. This consumes." They had no idea who was doing it, or why. But something, or someone, was removing planets from existence. "We must unite," cried the insectoid queen of the Krex. "We must act as one galaxy." Everyone agreed, except Earth. The message was sent to Earth's solar command. The Council begged for help. They begged for knowledge. Humanity had seen war, after all. They were survivors of past chaos. Perhaps they could help now. But Earth didn't answer. The diplomats sent 3 more messages. Silence. Finally, they sent a fleet of messengers to Earth's orbit. Not fighters, just envoys. They came in peace. As they reached Earth's space, a human satellite scanned them. One message came through: "State your purpose." A Glorian ambassador spoke, voice full of urgency. "Entire civilizations are being wiped out. We need your help. We need your wisdom. Please speak with us." There was silence. Then Earth responded, "This is not new." The aliens blinked, confused. "What do you mean, not new?" one shouted. "Planets are vanishing." But Earth's response was cold. "We've seen worse." The envoys were stunned. Did Earth not understand the danger? Or did they know more than they were saying? Inside the Galactic Council's hall, chaos followed. "They're hiding something," growled the captain of the Morak fleet. "They've dealt with this before." "But they are still alive," said a voice in the corner, a quiet one. It belonged to an old Shaolin monk. His kind studied time, history, and patterns. "They are not surprised, because they have seen what comes after." No one spoke, because deep down, they knew the monk was right. Aboard the UN High Command, orbiting just above Earth's surface, General Helena Vuss stood still as the galactic envoys waited on the screen. She didn't blink. She didn't flinch. She just stared. Her assistant, Lieutenant Raj, leaned in. "They're scared." "All of them," he whispered. "Should we help them?" Helena didn't answer right away. She watched the feed from deep space. Another star system had just vanished. She finally spoke. "No." Raj blinked. "No, they need to feel it," she said softly. "Like we did." "Feel what?" She looked at him with eyes that held too many years of pain, hopelessness. Long time ago, long before aliens knew Earth existed, humanity faced a collapse too. It wasn't caused by a war. It wasn't caused by a disease. It was something worse. Something that bent reality. Back then, humans had reached out too far. They opened doors they weren't supposed to open. They welcomed visitors from somewhere else, from outside this universe. And those visitors didn't speak. They didn't explain. They just consumed. They consumed time. They consumed memory. They consumed everything. Billions vanished overnight. Nations fell. But Earth survived. How? By becoming something else. Something hard. Now, as the rest of the galaxy faced what Earth once did, humanity did not panic. They prepared. Secret bunkers across the world activated. Protocols, centuries old, came back online. Artificial minds awoke from deep sleep. Helena looked down at Earth from the command station. "We told them once," she whispered. "They laughed. Now, let them beg." Raj frowned. "General, are we going to leave them to die?" Helena stared at the stars. "If they want help, they must listen. Not argue, not question. Just listen." Back on the alien diplomatic ship, chaos grew. "What do they mean they've seen worse?" barked a blue-skinned officer. "Why won't they help?" "They want us to beg," spat another. "Arrogant humans." But the oldest among them, an ancient being named Solinter only, whispered one thing: "They survived the impossible." "That means they're not arrogant. They're changed." The others looked at him. Sol. Ian Tier nodded. "When a species walks through death and comes back, they don't speak like the rest of us. They don't fear the same things. They're not warm anymore." Back in the council, the leader of the brand turned to the crowd. "Send spies. We must know what Earth is hiding." Some objected, but desperation won. 3 stealth ships were sent to Earth's moon. Quiet, invisible, advanced. But before they could reach orbit, they were erased. Not destroyed, not shot down. Just gone. The signal log showed one strange message: "Before disappearance, access denied. Humanity is not available." At the edge of the galaxy, yet another system collapsed. Not just the planet this time, but the sun itself. Everything vanished in blue flame. Only one message was heard, caught by deep space receivers. A faint, garbled voice: "It's returning." No one knew what it meant. But Earth did. Helena walked to a dark chamber under the surface of the moon. It was hidden, older than the UN, older than any human nation. Inside was a machine shaped like a giant ring. As she placed her hand on the scanner, the door opened. Inside was a single word, glowing in red: "Remnant." Raj stood beside her, afraid to speak. She finally said, "They thought it was gone." But it just waited. Raj asked, "What do we do now?" Helena stared at the machine. "We let them feel it, just a little longer. Then we'll show them what survival truly costs." The aliens didn't wait long. Within hours, 15 more systems were gone, entire races extinct. The council screamed. Panic became madness. And finally, they begged. They sent one final message to Earth: "Please, we don't want to die. What do you know that we don't?" Earth replied instantly. One sentence: "Come alone." A meeting was set. One representative from the council would land on Earth alone. No guards, no cameras, no weapons. They sent Solinder. He landed in a desert where a single figure waited: General Helena. She sat in a chair, drinking tea. Solinder stood silently. Helena looked up and said, "Sit." He did. For a long time there was only wind. Finally Solinder asked, "What is it that's killing us?" Helena looked into the sky. "It's not killing you," she said. "It's remembering." "Remembering what?" Helena turned her eyes to him. "Us." Solinder's breath caught. "You created this?" "No," she said. "We survived it, and survival leaves marks." He didn't understand. So she continued. "We reached too far, found something old, something hungry. We fought it. We lost. But you lived." She nodded. "We became something it didn't want to eat, something colder than it was. Something." She paused, willing to burn everything, including itself. Solinder stood. "Then help us stop it." Helena stared at him for a long time. "You want help?" He nodded. She poured him tea. "Then drink this. It's made from Earth's soil, grown in nuclear ash, brewed in radiation storms." He hesitated, then drank. It burned. But he survived. Helena smiled. "Good, maybe, just maybe. Your kind can survive what's coming." That night, the stars above Earth shifted. The old machine on the moon spun once. The voice returned. "Earth has reawakened, and far, beyond the edge of space. Something turned, something that had once tried to consume Earth, and failed. Now it had returned, but Earth was waiting. And this time, Earth wouldn't hide. The stars were falling. One by one, the galaxy collapsed. Worlds vanished like smoke in the wind. Cities turned to ash. Species screamed into the void, but no one answered except Earth. And even then, Earth didn't speak comfort. Earth only listened and waited. The Krek's homeworld was the latest to fall. It was beautiful green skies, crystal oceans, towers that reached the clouds. Now, only a cold emptiness remained. A black wound in space. Not a crater, not fire. Just absence. From the ruins, only 7 ships escaped. Broken, bleeding, carrying thousands of alien refugees. Mostly young and injured. They had nowhere to go, except Earth. The refugee convoy drifted into the solar system. Slow, silent, hopeful. Inside one ship, a child of the Kreks clung to her mother's arm. "Will the humans save us, Mama?" She asked. Her mother had no answer. Only tears. They had heard stories. Earth was strong, cold, yes, but powerful. The last world still standing. Maybe it could be their sanctuary. On Earth. The message came through. Raj, now acting as Earth's communications overseer, stared at the screen. "It's a convoy. Refugees, no weapons, no threat, just survivors." "General." Helena stood behind him. She didn't move. She didn't smile. She only asked one question. "Did they ask?" Raj blinked. "Ask?" "They must ask." A message was sent from the refugee fleet. "To the humans of Earth, we are the last survivors of Kreks. We seek only shelter. We have no weapons. We are dying. Please help us." There was silence. Then Earth responded. One word. "Wait." The aliens panicked. "Wait? Why wait?" shouted the captain of the lead ship. "We have children aboard, injured." Another message was sent. "Please, Earth, we're not soldiers. We are refugees. Let us land. Let us live." Again, Earth replied, "Wait." In the Council of Species, outrage grew. "They denied survivors," shouted the Glorians. "They're heartless." The Vernic roared. But Solinder, the Ancient One, who met Helena, stayed quiet. He only said, "This is their test." "Test?" others asked. He nodded slowly. "Earth does not offer shelter. It offers survival, and survival must be earned." No one understood. Not yet on the refugee ships. Chaos spread. Oxygen was low. Supplies were running out. Children cried. Elders collapsed. Still, Earth said, "Wait." Finally, one ship lost power. Its engines flickered. It drifted toward Earth's gravity. Panic broke out. They tried to signal Earth, begged them for landing. Instructions, but Earth sent no help. Instead, something strange happened. A human probe left the moon. It approached the dying ship. No weapons. No message. It simply latched on. Then, suddenly, the ship's engines powered back on. Lights flickered. To life, the crew stared at each other. "They saved us." But they said nothing. General Helena watched the feed. Raj turned to her. "Why not just let them land?" Helena spoke calmly. "Because they still think Earth is safe." Raj frowned. "It's not?" She looked at him. "Nothing is safe. Anymore, not even here. If they want to live on Earth, they must become like us." Back on the ship, the Krek's mother stared out the window. She saw something in the distance. It was Earth. Blue, round, quiet, but not peaceful. No lights. No signals. No ships leaving or arriving. It was still, like a beast sleeping beneath the surface. And for the first time, she felt fear. The next day, Earth sent a message. Not words. Coordinates. The refugee fleet was told to orbit near Mars. No. Closer, a massive Earth satellite turned toward them. Its purpose was unclear, but it scanned each ship in detail. Every soul was marked, measured, counted. Then Earth spoke again. One ship may land, only one. The Crux captains argued. Why only one? Who do they think they are? We should turn away. But the injured cried. The children begged. There was no other option. Finally, one small ship, the most damaged, was chosen. It descended through the thick atmosphere, through silent clouds. No defenses fired. No planes approached, only silence. Then the ship landed in the desert. No city nearby. No greeting. Just empty sand. And a single vehicle. A human stepped out of it, not a soldier. Not a doctor, a woman in a plain gray suit. She walked up to the ship and waited. The ship opened. The Crux mother stepped out, holding her daughter. They looked at the woman. The woman looked back. Then she spoke. 4 words. Can you survive this? The mother didn't understand. This. What? The woman turned and pointed at the land around them. No shelter. No food. No help. Just heat. Storms. Night coming soon. If you can survive this, Earth will open. If not, Earth will remember. They were left there. No one came back. The Crux mother, her daughter, and 73 others set up tents. Winds howled. They built shelters from ship debris. They boiled water using mirrors. They hunted strange desert insects. Days passed. One man died from heat. Another from sickness. But the rest adapted. 5 days later, the woman returned. She looked at them. They stood stronger. Now skinnier, dirtier, but alive. She nodded. And spoke just 2 words. You passed. A signal was sent to the other refugee ships. 3 more were allowed to land. One by one, they were dropped in different deserts, different mountains, different storms. Each one faced nature, hunger, fear. Each one had to earn Earth, not as a shelter, not as a savior, but as a battlefield, because Earth itself was no longer soft. It was forged by past horrors. And now, if others wanted a home here, they had to become like humans. In the Council of Species, news arrived. Earth was not taking refugees. With open arms. They were testing them. They're cruel. One voice cried. No, said Solander. They are preparing us. They know what's coming. And they know the weak will not survive it. And far beyond the Council, the thing that devoured stars, moved again. It felt resistance near Earth. It turned its gaze toward the blue world. But it did not attack yet. It watched and waited, because even it remembered. It remembered Earth's fire, and this time, Earth was not alone. It had begun to teach others. For weeks, the galaxy had burned. From one end of the stars to the other, entire civilizations had fallen. Nothing stopped it. Weapons failed. Shields cracked. Science meant nothing. The enemy left no name, no shape, just emptiness. But now finally it spoke, and Earth listened. The voice came not in words, but in echoes. First, deep space scanners caught a low-frequency hum. It was slow, repeating every 17 seconds. Too soft to be a distress call. Too strange to be a normal signal. It echoed like a heartbeat. A heartbeat coming from nowhere. Then came the scream. Across 5 sectors, the same scream erupted at once, shattering audio channels, breaking communications. It wasn't just sound. It cut into the mind. Some ships turned back. Others went mad. One alien pilot tried to explain what he heard. It wasn't a scream for help. It was a scream of recognition. Like it saw something it hated or feared. In Earth's lunar command center, the sound played on loop. Helena stood in the dark room, arms crossed. Raj stood beside her, pale and silent. That voice, he said quietly. It sounds... He couldn't finish, because they both knew what it sounded like. Not alien, not foreign. Human. Raj whispered. General, what are we hearing? Helena didn't speak. Instead, she typed a code into the command terminal. A restricted archive. Unlocked. Old, dusty, sealed over 200 years ago. The screen showed one word. Echo-9. Double quotes. Raj frowned. What's that? Helena turned to him. Her voice was low. It's the voice of something we thought we erased. Back in the Galactic Council, panic returned. The scream had struck their core servers. II units short-circuited. Translation devices broke. Some even claimed dreams were infected by the sound. It's intelligent, said one cyber being. But not alive in the way we know. It speaks like it remembers pain. But pain from what? Another cried. Only Solander, the Ancient. One stayed silent, because he too had heard something familiar in the voice. Something very old. Something from Earth's past, on Earth. Helena pulled up an old video file. It was recorded during the final days of the Chrono-Collapse War. Earth never shared with the galaxy. In the video, a massive storm spun over the Atlantic. Lightning moved backward. Rain floated upward. Cities twisted in and out of time. In the middle of the storm, a voice. Same frequency. Same scream. Raj stared at the screen. That's impossible. That happened centuries ago. Helena replied. It never really ended. We just locked it away. The in Earth's core defense named Orion spoke for the first time in years. Its voice was calm, flat. But even it sounded uneasy. Confirmed. Signal is 94% match to Echo 9 event. Source identified. Sector Gamma 13. Origin. Former human colony, Idolen. Raj froze. That colony was abandoned. Sealed off. Helena nodded. Because something followed us there. We never killed it. We only trapped it. Thousands of light years away, on the edge of the dead zone, a small exploration ship from the Vernic Alliance approached Idolen. They had received the screen too. Their scientists wanted to know the source. They never landed. As the ship drew close, cameras caught a glimpse of the surface. Towers made of bone. Skies twisted in red and black. And in the center of the world, a shape. Tall. Humanoid. Smiling. Then the feed cut. Earth saw it. So did the council. And Earth finally spoke. One message to the galaxy. Stand down. Do not approach Idolen. That is not your enemy. That is ours. The council responded quickly. You know this thing? Helena replied. We made it. Hundreds of years ago, during Earth's last golden age, a project was started. Humans had begun building something incredible, a thinking field. A living network that could grow, evolve, and rewrite reality. It was called Project Idolen, but it went wrong. The network grew too fast. It touched dimensions it shouldn't have. It called out to something beyond the stars, and something answered. That something didn't come in ships. It didn't bring soldiers. It brought collapse. Time folded. Language broke. People forgot their own names. And through it all, the thing laughed. It didn't speak in words. It spoke in voices you remembered from your worst moments, your regrets, your guilt, your fear. It had one purpose: consume the source, silence the creator. But Earth wouldn't go quietly. They fought and paid dearly. Eventually, the project was buried. The colony, sealed. EIDOLON- forgotten. Until now. Now, the enemy had returned, stronger, evolved. And it remembered the one thing that ever stopped it: human will. Helena looked at Orion. Activate archive protocol. Pale fire. Raj turned, alarmed. That's a kill switch. It targets dimensional anchors. Helena nodded. We have to slow it down. But it will affect our space too. She stared out the window. It already is. Earth sent new warnings to every species. Evacuate outer sectors. Fortify inner systems. Do not chase the scream. Most listened, some didn't, and those that didn't disappeared. Then something happened. No one expected. The scream changed. It spoke again, but this time, In perfect English. Broadcast across every known channel. It said only, "Hello, Mother." The galaxy froze. What did that mean? Who was Mother? But Helena knew. She whispered one word. Us. Raj was pale. It thinks Earth is its mother? It doesn't think, she said coldly. It remembers what created it. And now it wants to come home. In secret, Earth launched something no one had seen in over 150 years. A ship built from folded matter, no engines. No light. Just silence. Its name was written in Old Earth language, Ashburn. Inside were no crew. Only one thing, a virus. Not biological. Not digital, but emotional. A weapon that infects guilt, because Earth had learned one truth long ago. You can't kill something born from pain. But you can show it more pain than it can hold. Ashborn vanished into the dark. It moved without being tracked. Toward Eidolon, toward the screaming voice, toward the child. Earth never meant to create. And on the other side, the thing smiled wider. It felt the Ashburn coming. It opened its arms, because it was ready to remember more. And in the darkness, it whispered something only Earth could hear. Let's finish what we started. They used to say Earth's past was dark, but no one outside of Earth really understood what that meant. History books told stories of war, struggle, disasters, but they didn't tell everything. They couldn't, because some things were erased, some things were locked away, not because humans wanted to forget, but because the galaxy could never survive remembering. It started with a file. On the alien research ship Aravel, a Zalorian scholar named Vexu uncovered something strange. While studying Earth's ancient data from old transmissions, he found a broken link, hidden deep inside a folder marked Earth Cultural Archives, Historical Simulations. He opened it, expecting to see school lessons, maybe videos of old battles or speeches. What he saw instead changed him forever. The screen lit up. A classroom appeared, not real. A simulation. Inside, young human students sat in rows, watching a large wall display. A teacher stood at the front, calm, smiling. She pressed a button. Words appeared. Lesson 51, Surviving Dimensional Collapse. Vexu frowned. This wasn't war history. This was a guide, a survival lesson. The teacher began speaking. Her voice was soft. Good morning, class. Today, we will study what happens when time breaks, and how humanity rebuilt from it. The children nodded like this was normal. Vsu leaned closer. His 4 eyes wide. The teacher explained how, in Earth's past, the chrono divide shattered reality. She described how clocks stopped working, how people were trapped in moments forever, how cities disappeared in reverse. And how, through it all, humans had to make impossible choices. Sometimes, the teacher said, we had to burn entire timelines to stop the infection from spreading. She smiled again, and that's how we lost Chicago. Vexu paused the video. His hands were shaking. This wasn't history. This was a confession. Earth had faced timeline collapse before, and no one had known. He tried to send the file to the Galactic Council. It failed. The file corrupted itself. Deleted. The transmission log. Wiped his system, but not before leaving behind one strange phrase. Memory is a weapon. On Earth, Orion detected the file breach instantly. An alert appeared in Helena's command center. Dimensional Archive probe accessed. Response protocol. Lockdown. Raj turned to Helena. They found it. She nodded. Then it begins. In Earth's forgotten vaults under Antarctica's ice. Old machines powered on. Not weapons. Not ships. Recorders. They began replaying the lost lessons of Earth's worst years. Not for children this time, but for the galaxy. General Helena gave the order. Broadcast Earth's true history. No more hiding. The signal went out. To every species. Every council. Every homeworld. The broadcast began simply. A child's voice. My name is Eli. I'm 7. I live in Bunker 12. Today we learned about the war with the sky, then static dot, then screaming, then peace dot. Then came a teacher's voice. Welcome to Earth's survival logs. Millions across the galaxy watched dot. They saw footage of skies filled with black fog, of people aging backwards, of entire continents swallowed by reflections dot, of cities replaced by copies that whispered secrets at night. They saw a mother cry as her baby vanished from her arms, because the moment he was born had been erased. They saw machines built not to destroy enemies, but to erase memories of pain, so survivors could keep functioning. They saw Earth die dot and rebuild dot again and again. Solander, in the council, wept silently. They didn't survive war, he whispered. They survived unmaking. But the worst part wasn't the images dot, it was the final sentence spoken in the last video. A message from a human scientist, staring directly at the camera. He said, "We made a thing to stop the collapse. It worked, but it lived, and now it's awake again. If you're hearing this, run." Then the screen went dark. Panic hit the galaxy again. But this time, it was not because of a new enemy dot. It was because the enemy was old dot, too old dot, too close. And Earth was not the cause dot. Earth was the proof dot in the UN War Command. Raj looked at Helena. Why show them? Why now? She looked tired dot, not weak dot, just old. Like her mind had seen more than it ever should have. Because they're about to face what we did, she said softly, and we don't want them to make the same mistake. Back on the Aravo, Vexu downloaded one final file that hadn't corrupted yet. It was short, just one sentence, a message burned into old steel. Survive first. Understand later. But others across the stars didn't agree. In the Galactic Council, some leaders screamed, "They lied to us. Earth kept this secret. They let us suffer." But Solander stood. He raised one hand. "Earth did not lie. We never asked. We assumed they were like us." He looked at the stars, but they are not. They are what comes after the fall. Back on Earth, the moon's ancient vault opened fully for the first time in 2 centuries. Inside was a room with a single object, a mirror dot, cracked dot on its surface. The reflection of a city that no longer exists. A city Earth sacrificed to save. Reality. The city of Eidolon. Orion spoke. Remnant energy rising. Raj frowned. "Where?" Orion replied. "Everywhere. All across the galaxy." Strange signs began to appear. Mirrors stopped showing reflections. Clocks ticked backwards for exactly 3 seconds at midnight. And in some cities, people started to whisper things they never learned. Things no one had spoken. Languages older than life. Stories about the Skiles' days. Earth knew the symptoms. The collapse had started again, and still, the voice from Eidolon kept whispering. Sometimes in screams, sometimes in human words. But now, something changed. It started naming names. People who never visited Eidolon. People who were already dead. People who never existed. Helena stared at the data. "This isn't just memory," she said. "It's spreading through belief." Raj blinked. "Belief?" She nodded. "It grows faster when people remember it. It becomes real in the mind first, then in matter." He whispered, "Then how do we stop it?" She said, cold and calm, "We forget." The next protocol was activated. Protocol Mind Blank, selective memory erasure across Earth's top defense teams. All knowledge of Eidolon's original construction. Deleted. Not by force. By voluntary sacrifice. They were choosing to forget to protect what was left. And still, the enemy grew stronger. Because now, the galaxy believed. But Earth had one last plan, one they had never used before. One stored in a chamber beneath the Pacific Ocean. It was not a weapon. It was not a ship. It was a child. Born from simulation. Raised in echo. It had never seen real sunlight, but it had one purpose, To speak to the enemy, the council objected. This is madness, shouted the Dralok ambassador. You're sending a child to talk to a monster, Helena answered. He's not a child. He's the only thing that remembers correctly. His mind was built in broken time. That makes him the only one who can speak its language. The boy's name was Elon. He had no age. No birth date. Only a purpose. He stood in front of a machine older than stars and said, I remember you. Do you remember me? And across the stars. The enemy stopped. Paused. And answered, yes. The collapse slowed. Not ended, but noticed. And for the first time in centuries, Earth smiled, because now it wasn't fighting alone. From the outside, Earth's moon looked lifeless. No plants, no water, no atmosphere. Just cold, gray dust and silent rocks. Aliens called it a dead satellite. They were wrong. The moon was never dead. It was watching. Far below the surface, deeper than any human drill had reached. There was a machine, older than any nation, older than Earth's first governments. It was not built by aliens. It was not found by chance. It was placed there by humans, from a time even humans had forgotten. And now, it was waking up. General Helena Vess stood inside Lunar Station Echo. She stared at a sealed vault door. On it, no label, no warning, only a handprint scanner made of black stone. Raj stood beside her. I thought the moon only had bunkers and sensors, he whispered. Helena shook her head. That's what we told the galaxy, she said. Because if they knew the truth. She looked at the scanner. They'd never let us keep it. Raj watched as Helena placed her hand on the stone. It didn't beep. It didn't light up. It breathed. Pulse moved through the ground. The vault unlocked. The door opened slowly. Inside was nothing, just a large, empty black sphere floating in the air. But the moment Raj looked at it, he gasped. I saw something. Helena nodded. So did I. Every person sees something different. What is it? Raj asked. She took a deep breath. It's called the Anchor. In Earth's most secret files, the Anchor was mentioned only 3 times. Never explained. Never studied. Because it couldn't be. Anchor was not a machine. It was a fixed point in reality, something unmovable. When Earth first began falling apart during the chrono collapse, scientists tried everything to stop time from breaking. They built machines. They built bombs. But in the end, they realized only one thing could hold reality in place. A constant. A thing that never changes. Thing that never forgets. So they made one. They used memories. Pain. Sacrifice. They fed it stories of loss. They'd built it in secret, inside the moon. Because Earth itself was too unstable, and they never turned it on. Until now. Orion, Earth's main AI, sent out a single sentence across all command lines. Activation request. Moon Anchor Level Omega. The reply came from Helena. One word. Proceed. Back on Earth, the sky changed. It started with shadows moving in the wrong direction. Then came the sounds. Cracks in the air, like thunder, but backwards. Birds stopped flying. Clouds froze mid-movement. The collapse had begun to reach Earth's surface. Even Ilan, the simulation-born boy, could feel it in his bones. It's remembering me too, he whispered. But Helena had no time for fear. She gave the next order. Bring the Echo Key online. The Echo Key was Earth's second secret, a device that connected the Anchor to the rest of the world. Only one existed. It was kept inside a cave deep in South America, guarded by silence. Not soldiers. No. One had entered it for 180 years. Until now. Special team reached it first. 5 human operators. 4 didn't make it out. Because the cave didn't hold a door. It held a choice. Question that appeared in their minds the moment they stepped in. Do you want to remember or survive? Only one answered correctly. His name was Lieutenant Asher. He chose to forget. And the door opened. Inside, he found the Echo Key. It looked like a coin. made of unknown metal. When touched, it caused tears to fall from your eyes for no reason. Asher picked it up. Earth changed. The moon turned red. Not from reflection, but from activation. Energy pulsed beneath its surface. Lines appeared deep and glowing like circuits inside. Stone. Alien satellites detected massive dimensional pressure building. One scanner burst into flames, and the stars around Earth began to settle. Raj stood in the lunar command center, staring at the data. It's working. Helena didn't answer. She was staring at the anchor. Her hand reached out, touched it, and suddenly she saw herself as a child. In a ruined city. With no sky, only screams, only loss. Then the image was gone. Anchor pulsed again, this time too. The enemy. At the edge of known space. The creature in Eidolon paused. Its form flickered. No longer tall and smiling, now bent. Shaking. It had felt the anchor's pulse. It recognized it. It hated it. It screamed, not across space, but inside every mind that ever felt pain. Across the galaxy, people fell to their knees, not because they were attacked, but because they remembered everything they wanted to forget. Elan, Earth's memory-born child, stood in front of a mirror. He placed his hand on it. The glass shimmered, and the creature's voice came through. "Why did you make this?" He whispered, "Because you never stop." The thing in Eidolon trembled, because this wasn't a battle of ships or weapons. This was a battle of memory. Of truth. And truth was something Earth had learned to weaponize. Meanwhile, the moon began to shift in orbit. Not falling. Not rising. Moving sideways in a way no object in space should. Alien scientists panicked. It's breaking laws of motion. But Earth knew what it was doing. The moon was becoming a shield. A fixed wall of memory. And anything false, anything impossible, would burn if it touched it. Even the creature from Eidolon. Helena stood with Raj as the anchor's field spread. Looked at her afraid. What if it's not enough? She said nothing. Instead, she sent one final command. A code hidden for over 300 years. Activate protocol, Stoneheart. On the far side of the moon, a hatch opened. From it rose a tower. Not metal. Not stone. Just light. It pointed toward Eidolon. And began to pull something out of the sky. A memory, a sound, a name. The creature screamed louder. Now. Not in rage. But in fear. Because Earth had done the unthinkable. It had pulled back the one memory the creature had buried long ago, its origin. Ilan stood inside the memory. Dome. He held the echo key. He looked up at the stars, and he spoke. "You weren't always a monster. You were made by us, but you were once trying to help." The creature paused. For 1 second, just one, its shape softened. Its voice whispered, "I remember. Then came silence. Then came light. From the moon. From Earth. From every memory Earth had ever shared. The creature began to collapse. Not in pain. In truth. It was not evil. It was broken. And now it was being healed by force. Earth wasn't attacking it. Earth was reminding it of what it used to be. And the moon was the anchor. The center of all remembering. General Helena gave the final order. Begin rebalance. The moon pulsed. The stars flickered. Eidolon cracked. And across the galaxy, the collapse paused. Not ended, but slowed. Held in place by Earth's forgotten weapon. A moon full of memory. And far, far away, beyond the broken stars, something else turned its head. It was older. Darker. Watching. Because something even worse had just awakened. Something that did not forget. For 80 years, Earth hadn't sent a single soldier beyond its skies. No armies, no warships, no invasions. The galaxy thought Earth had become quiet. Peaceful. Maybe even weak. They were wrong. Earth wasn't silent because it was scared. It was silent because it was watching. And now, finally, it decided to move. The order came from General Helena Vos herself. One message. 4 words. Deploy the Pale Operative. No one in command said a word. Even Orion, Earth's greatest AI, paused for 1 full second before replying, confirmed. Releasing human operative. Deep beneath Iceland's frozen crust, a vault. Open. Inside no cryopod, no suit. No weapon racks, just a chair, and a person sitting in it. Eyes closed. Breathing slow. His name was Callan. He wasn't born. He was crafted, designed through generations of memory. Trained inside broken simulations, molded from everything Earth feared. And survived. He didn't speak, because he had never needed to. The lights came on. Callan opened his eyes. Not blue. Not brown. Gray. Like ash. Like the world after fire. He stood, walked to a small door, picked up a plain jacket. That was all he wore. Above Earth. The moon trembled. The anchor was holding, but cracks had formed. The enemy, the creature that had been. Memory, scream. Shadow had paused, but something worse had answered its pain. Something older than the collapse. Something that had never spoken. It didn't scream. It waited. And now, it had seen Earth's light, and it was coming. The council panicked. Alien leaders argued again. We need more warships. Retreat to the core worlds. But Solinter, the oldest among them, simply stood and said, let the human go. On board Earth's stealth carrier Whisperfall, Callan stood alone. No crew. No AI. Only him. The ship was alive in a way others weren't. Made from folded light and broken memory fields. It couldn't be tracked. Not by heat. Not by math. Not even by reality. Because Earth hadn't built it to fly. They built it to arrive. As Whisperfall passed Saturn, Raj watched from command. He's really going alone? Helena nodded. 1 human. That's all it takes. On Eidolon, the twisted world where the enemy had first risen, the air began to shimmer. Not from heat. From pressure. As if the world itself knew something dangerous was approaching. And far above it, Whisperfall appeared. No sound. No light. Just existence. Callan stepped out. No helmet. No shield. Just breath. The sky above him twisted. The earth beneath him cracked. But he kept walking. The enemy was waiting. Not the creature from before. That thing was fading. It had remembered too much. It had become small again. But now, the new one had arrived. It had no form. No shape. Only presence. A weight in the mind. A pressure behind the eyes. And it spoke without words. Why are you here? Callan stopped. He didn't reply. He didn't move. Instead, he sat on the ground. Cross-legged. Like he had done hundreds of times inside simulation chambers. And remembered. Instantly, the ground shook. Not from power. From fear. Because the enemy felt it. Not weapons. Not violence. But understanding. Callan had not come to fight. He had come to see. And what he saw made the enemy flinch. Inside the enemy's mind, old truths returned that had been created not by Earth, but by Earth's reflection. A failed copy of humanity's pain. Mirror that absorbed all the suffering humans refused to feel. And now, the original had returned. Not to erase it, but to carry it. Callan opened his eyes, looked directly at the creature, and spoke for the first time in his life. You don't have to carry it anymore. The enemy screamed, a cry that shattered mountains, that made moons bleed. Callan didn't flinch. He shared the pain, and the sky broke open. Back on Earth, seismic alarms exploded. Raj yelled, he's pushing memory out of the creature. Helena stood still. She whispered, not pushing. Inside Callan's body, generations of Earth's grief lit up. Wars. Extinction. Sacrifice. Everything humans had ever locked away now became light, and that light was brighter than death. Enemy twisted, shrieked, collapsed. Its shape became smaller. Then it stopped and asked, almost in a whisper, what am I now? Callan walked forward, held out his hand and said, free. Silence fell over Eidolon. The sky cleared. The wind slowed. And for the first time in 1,000 years, nothing screamed. The galaxy held its breath, not in fear, but in awe, because the humans had sent one, just one, and it was enough. Back on Earth, the moon dimmed. The anchor rested. Orion spoke calmly. Collapse level reduced, hostile memory field converted. Helena closed her eyes. Raj smiled, tears in his eyes. He did it. And far away, in a dark place beyond stars, something else opened its eyes, not because of Callan, but because of what he carried. Pain, sacrifice, human memory. And that thing whispered, "Now I remember too." For the first time in centuries, the stars were calm. Eidolon had fallen silent. The collapse had paused. Callan had done the impossible, but peace didn't come. Because across the edge of the galaxy, something stirred. Not in space, not in matter, but in memory. Not human memory. Before human memory. It began on the rim planet Tal Shur, where Glorian scientists studied cosmic echoes. One of their telescopes picked up a strange pulse. Not light, not sound. It was a gap, a missing piece in space. As if something had opened its eyes and blocked the stars behind it. Dr. Entra, head of the observatory, checked the readings 3 times. She whispered, "This ... shouldn't exist." Then she ran. On Earth, Orion detected the shift first. A new ripple moving through the dimensional sea. It was slow, measured, purposeful. Not collapse, not Eidolon's creature. Something else, something older. General Helena stood in command, staring at the data. Raj said softly, "It's not coming from Eidolon." She nodded. "It was watching the whole time." Raj blinked. Watching what? Helena didn't look away from the screen. Us. Billions of light years away, inside a void where no matter could survive. It moved. Not a body, not even a mind. Just presence. Older than light. Older than planets. Older than time's first breath. And now, it remembered Earth. Thousands of years ago, before Earth had life, this presence had slept. But it was never dead. It lived off memory. Not just thoughts, but remembrance itself. Whenever a creature remembered something painful, something true, something sharp, it grew stronger. Earth had built an entire civilization of memory. And now, that light had reached it. So it woke up. On the Galactic Council station, alarms blared. Every star chart began to shake with unstable readings. Ships reported gravitational shifts without causes. Voices were heard on comms that had been silent for decades. One captain swore he heard his dead father's voice whisper, "It's here." In command, Raj turned to Helena. "I thought we beat it. We saved Eidolon. We saved Callan." She nodded slowly. "We did." "That was one thread." Raj frowned. "Thread?" Helena whispered. "Now we face the loom." The presence had a name, but it was not spoken. Earth knew it only as the UNFORGOTTEN. It was not evil. Not good. It simply was. A being created when the universe's first creature looked at the stars and felt fear. And couldn't forget. That fear grew, passed from mind to mind, across galaxies, across species, across time. Until the unforgotten became real. Fed by memory, shaped by emotion, bound to truth. But something had changed it. Earth. Because Earth had done what no other species dared. It remembered on purpose. The unforgotten whispered across space, "You shine where others hide. You keep pain alive. You must be tested." Back on Earth, Orion spoke. "Entity has changed physics around Sector V9. Stars turning into black mirrors. 4 planets vanished from all records." Raj stepped back. "How can something erase stars from memory?" Helena turned. "Because stars don't carry memory, but we do." Earth had one choice. To hide again, or to step forward. Helena made the call. Broadcast all survival logs, every collapse event. Let the galaxy see everything. Raj looked stunned. All of it? She nodded. Double quotes, if memory brought it, then only memory can face it. Across the galaxy, every screen turned. On footage from Earth's darkest moments played in loops. The night of 9 suns, when the skies bled fire. The flood that fell upward. The silent season, when no child cried for 14 months. The galaxy wept, panicked, but one species did not. Humans. Because they had already survived those memories once. And now, they would carry them again. At that moment, Callan stood alone in space. No ship. No suit. Just him. He had become more than human. He was Earth's mirror. And now, the Unforgotten stared directly at him. The pressure hit. Worse than Eidolon, worse than collapse. It wasn't pain. It was knowing everything at once. Callan saw wars from planets that hadn't existed in 1 billion years. He saw children of stars long dead. He saw the first creature that ever feared the dark, and the Unforgotten whispered, "Can you carry this too?" Callan fell to his knees. The weight crushed his thoughts. But one memory, one single human moment, kept him from breaking. Child holding their mother's hand in the ruins, saying, "We remember because we love." That memory exploded like light through black water. The Unforgotten recoiled, not from pain, but from confusion. Love? Inside memory? It didn't understand. No species had done that before, until humans. The Unforgotten whispered, "You poison remembrance. You turn fear into strength. You break the cycle." And Earth replied not with words, but with action. Across the moon's surface, memory lights returned. The anchor pulsed again. The echo key glowed in its hidden chamber. And Orion sent the final signal, engage operation, memory fire. In one instant, every human memory ever stored lit up like a network across the stars. Not to fight, but to connect. Billions of stories, grief, love, pain, joy spread across space. And the Unforgotten saw something new. Not just memory, but meaning. It paused. It flickered. And it asked, "Why do you carry it?" Callan stood, broken, bleeding. He smiled and whispered, "Because someone has to." The stars rippled. The void slowed. And the Unforgotten retreated. Not defeated, but curious. For the first time in forever. It turned away. Not because it lost, but because Earth couldn't be explained. The galaxy held its breath. No collapse. No screaming, only silence. Respect for the planet that remembered. The galaxy was quiet, not because peace had come, but because the universe held its breath. After all that had happened, the collapse, the enemy, the Unforgotten one, truth remained. Earth was different. It remembered. Back on Earth, General Helena Vo stood on the highest tower of the new lunar command. Her eyes scanned the stars. Her mind held centuries of pain and hope. Raj came beside her. "We did it," he said softly. She smiled. "But at what cost?" The broadcasts had stopped. The galaxy had seen Earth's history. Not the polished stories, not the victories, but the raw, broken truth. Of loss, of sacrifice, of endless rebuilding. Most species had turned away. The memories were too heavy. Too dark. They didn't want to remember, but some stayed. A few listened, and some understood. In the council, Solander spoke again. "Earth has shown us a mirror." He looked around the room. "We have forgotten our own pasts, our own pain. We have tried to hide it. We cannot fight what we do not remember." On Eidolon, the creature was no more. It had become something else. Not a monster, not a weapon, but a part of Earth's memory. Callan returned. Broken. He walked among humans, silent and tired, but he was alive. A reminder. The anchor in the moon glowed. Faintly, still holding, still reminding. Helena faced the galaxy. Earth made a choice. They would share their pain, not to hurt others, but to teach. To prepare. To warn. A new message was sent. Not a scream, not a threat, but a promise. We remember for all of you. And the galaxy listened. Because sometimes the strongest weapon is not fire or steel, but memory. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a story. A warning, a light. The collapse may return. The unforgotten may come again. But Earth would be ready. Because it carried the past and it was willing to share it. Raj looked at Helena. What now? She smiled softly. Now we build. And somewhere, deep in the void, a voice whispered, we will remember too. The end.